Anytime, 5:30 p.m.
Good evening, and a very special welcome to everyone, including those joining on Facebook and YouTube Live. I am your host, Tamika Scott Walters, and you are tuned into your favorite program, Family Time. Now, Family Time is about your issues and your relationships, whether you are at yard or abroad, whether it is work, community, or your global family. We have got your issues covered. Family Time is produced by the Family Life Ministries, and we aim to build healthy families, which leads to a healthy nation. Now, Family Time is produced by the Family Life Ministries, and we need to have you here join us. So stay with us and call a friend, text a friend. In fact, call everybody and tell them what time is it? It is family time. Be sure to join in on all our social media platforms. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, and also via Instagram. I am Tamika Scott Walters, and guess what? It is the month of May. And as we celebrate Child Month, today's topic is children, money management, and planning. Co-hosting today is not a child, but guess what? The newest member to our team, Amanda Jones. Amanda, how you do?
I'm doing well. Good to be here again. And good evening to all our listeners and those streaming on Facebook and YouTube. And now I will ask these questions. Does your child have a healthy respect for money? Do they earn the money they spend, or do you just hand it to them? When do you start teaching them to save? What are you teaching them about money and planning? Why should they know how to handle money? I suspect you may have many questions or your own experiences about childhood and money, but we want to know from you. We want to hear from you. What do you do to make sure your child has a healthy relationship with money? Please send it all via WhatsApp text and voice notes, and please make sure they are no longer than 30 seconds long. And you can send that to 876-997-3125 or call the studio lines 876-968-8327 or 876-968-8328 to participate. You can also watch us and comment live on Love 101's Facebook page and on YouTube. We'll be right back with our special guest, resident iconic advisor, Shernette Clark. Don't go anywhere.
Get ready for another inspiring show this Testimony Tuesday inside Alive 1 to 5 May 9, packed with inspirational stories and island flavored music. 1:45, we bring you the brain testing Menticize Listener Speak Edition. Stick around for prayer blast at 2 o'clock as we ring in the prayer bells of heaven. 2:15 inside the evidence, we share with you another testimony boasting about the power of God. Then at 3 p.m., we go behind the pulpit for another inspiring story. All this and more will come alive 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. May 9 with me, Sarah, and the Jerpy One on the family station, Love 101. Celebrating 30 years of music, family, and love.
Give him praise. Tell me how you feeling. Everybody feeling.
Who is Selassie? What is the relationship, the differences, and the similarities between Rastafarianism and Christianity? Tuesday, May 8, on The Rock, join host Bishop Harold Steve Blair and guests Joseph Miller, Joel Miller, and Reverend Clinton Chisholm as they discuss the topic Rastafari and Christianity. That's The Rock, Tuesday, May 9 at 10 a.m. right here on the family station, Love 101, celebrating 30 years of music, family, and love.
Welcome back to Family Time on Love 101. And a big welcome to Sharnette Clark, our iconic financial advisor, who is our special guest this evening. How are you, Sharnette? How are you doing? I believe you're muted. Yeah, we're still unable to hear you, Sharnette. So
Hey ladies, how are you?
we're doing
I
well.
tried my best to reach home so we have better connectivity today so we can indulge much into this chapter. And yes, it was a challenge, but I'm here. I'm great. I'm alive. How are you?
Great.
We
We're
are
doing
doing
well.
well. We're doing well, thanks. So glad to have you again.
Yes, same here, my dear. I'm happy to be here.
Okay, now Charlotte, I know today's topic. It's a very big one. We're in the month of May for Child Month. So I want to say, listen, all our audience, remember, we want to hear from you, our listeners. What are some of the things you do to ensure your child has a healthy relationship with money? And if you don't have a child, look here, your niece, your nephew, your cousin, any child, what are some of the things you do to ensure they have a healthy relationship with money? Remember, we need to hear, so WhatsApp your texts or send your voice notes. Remember to keep them 30 seconds or less and to send it to 876-997-3125. Watch us and comment live on Love 101's Facebook or YouTube page, or call us in studios at 876 968 8327 or 876 968 8328 to participate. Before we blink, look, the time is on us, so let's get going. Sharnette, now,
Yes, ma'am.
teaching children about money. Why do we need to teach children about money? Are they spending money? And they certainly are responsible for themselves. So why teach children money management?
Our children are the future, my dear. Lady Tamika Scott Walters and Lady Amanda, they are the future.
Yes.
So think about our position now as adults. If we had financial literacy in our schools or even some aspect in our homes of managing and control money, do you think some of the decisions that we made financially, we would have made those decisions? I think not.
Good question.
I think not. So it is important that we start teaching our children about money, the importance of it. And we always say
Agree.
money is the root of all evil, but I don't think it is the love of it. But then money is
Yes.
used for various things that you can have, you can invest. So we have to have a way that we don't make it seem taboo to have a lot of it. And we can give if we feel like giving if we have a lot of it, but it is important that we understand money, how it works, and managing it. It is our friend. We need it.
Okay, so I get you. I'm listening and I agree. Yes, perhaps we would make better decisions. Yes, so I understand. I see how it helps. But children, it's such a wide spectrum. Children is from the teeny baby in the hand to some of the much older teens. So,
Right.
at what age do we really start?
Age 3. We start from
Wow,
age 3,
okay.
and there are different concepts that you can teach from ages 3 to 6, and then probably from 7 to 10, and then you have from maybe 10 to 14, and then 16 to
Okay.
18. So there are different things that you will understand and teach at the different stages. For a 3-year-old, you probably can start out by having him or her do chores. So putting away their little stuff, whatever it is, but let them know that what comes with work is the reward of money. So we consistently
Yes.
know that we don't get money no other way, or should achieve money no other way but through work. consistent work and honest work that gives you a commission, gives you incentives. And I was thinking, having a thought earlier where I do you borrow from your children? And all of us, so we can
can't
get
tell
into
you, I
that
can't
later
tell you
on.
that
Actually,
one.
some ideas there, how the kids can earn from that loan. Instead of us using the term for the 9 months I carried you and not paying back that loan.
No charge.
There are tips that you can teach your children, to teach them, show them money, show them how it, just as how we're teaching, this is $1, this is $2, we can teach them how is it that $1 can turn into $2. And how do you check, how you add that? Just say 1 + 1. Money also can be multiplied, and how money is multiplied. As I said, you start at different stages, and the stage to start is age 3. They can start putting away their stuff. Teach them responsibility, and what comes with responsibility comes work. And as you get older, if you're consistent with that, then after 21 days of teaching anybody, it becomes a habit.
Right. And I think I wanted to just ask though, Sharnette, because I remember when I was younger, piggy bank was a thing, having a piggy bank. So would you say that piggy banks are still relevant, or is it that those things have now been replaced by other saving methods or channels? What would you say about that?
I wouldn't say you should replace it or it has been replaced. There are 2 piggy banks. Well, there are 3. I have one for myself, and my sons have one each. And the one that I've given to them is a transparent one. So they're able to see that accumulation process. It's exciting, When it is accumulated, I've purchased one that you don't destroy. The bottom has a lid that you open, and you can also empty that, and you start the process over. So you show them the accumulation process. That lump sum is placed in an account. So whether it is investment or whether it is savings. So they have the debit cards already,
Yes.
Because, yes, man, at 12 years old, when they're able to get it teaches independence. They have it in their wallet, I haven't taught them yet how to do the withdrawal, because you want to delay that a bit, and you want to encourage that the longer that money is in there, is the longer it's going to grow interest. So of course you're going to have their other monies where they may have on them to do their little spending. And my sons have their businesses already started, how to build on their pocket monies that they've had. They reinvest those pocket monies into purchasing items they're able to sell to their friends and earn money.
It's interesting how you said that, Sharnette, because I was just going to ask you, what's your take on children having their little mini businesses? Because of course, sometimes when you see children, even though they're so young, their personalities have already started to develop, and you see even entrepreneurship coming out. So I'm glad that you touched on that.
Multiple streams of income, because even if they say they're going to be lawyers, doctors, and the prime minister, they're going to need another stream of income. So they're learning entrepreneurship now in their little businesses. And you have some of these girls in my neighborhood, they have these little bracelets that they made. I think this is a product of one of them. And they sell their items. My sons buy from them to gift me these. So I may not meet these little girls, but they know them, and they'll like an item that they have that they think would look nice on mommy. So you have children who are using their hands to make products and selling it. I didn't start an Instagram page until 2019, believe it or not. Didn't have one. And I was emceeing an event. It was a big expo, 3-day presentation. And there was a little girl who was 6 years old who had her lip gloss company, and she had an Instagram page. And I was like, what? And I don't have one. And then everybody in the room was talking, really, how comes? And I decided on that day that there were 30 persons in the room, that they would have been my first set of followers. And I created a page there. About 17 of them started following. Of course, I get kind of sensitive, because I'm like, I count 30 people. What happened to the rest? The rest didn't have data. But the point is, you have children who have started. If you check on Instagram, a couple of them have their businesses, and that's a way to get them to be industrious on these pages.
Yeah,
that
it really is.
And watching videos and just thinking about hair, face, and nail, but becoming business owners. Let them know that they can capitalize on these social media spaces.
And Sharnette, I'm sure, you've heard about Instagram prior to that, but it was in that moment with the 6-year-old somehow, I mean, like a light bulb. You had a shining moment. So in that moment, you learned from a child.
Exactly.
And so I really do believe then this is why we have to get our kids learning from early, because they too will impart, share the information with others. You mentioned your son supporting others in business. So it's a good thing. We are off to a very, very good start. But guess what? We are up for a break. And so I want to say, remember, you are in tuned to Family Time, but we are going for a break. We will be right back.
Here's why you can't afford to miss the Morning Watch.
I love listening to the Morning Watch because topics are discussed and issues are highlighted that are of major importance, which in turn edify me.
The Morning Watch, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
I like listening to the Morning Watch. I find it very informative. I find it very interesting. The topics that are covered are very, very wide.
The Morning Watch, thought-provoking, insightful, current. Listen for the probing questions with attorney at law Stokely Marshall and the in-depth discussion with Reverend Dr. Dylan Toussaint. Every Wednesday, the Morning Watch is brought to you by Chris and Charles. When you think loans, think Chris and Charles. Every first and third Wednesday, the Morning Watch is brought to you by Home and Things. Home and Things, your construction finishes superstore. The Morning Watch, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. The Morning Watch is on the family station Love 101.
Every time my son send the liquor barrel for me have to go sit down and waff all day like me have nothing else to do. No, sir, me not fear do this.
Tired of spending all day at the wharf to clear your barrel?
Driver, turn up that the little bit for me there.
Starting May 1, use contactless clearance to clear your non-commercial shipments and avoid the long wait. Call Jamaica Customs today at 876-922-51408 or email contactlessclearance@jca.gov.jm.
But God goody, me I go call customs and learn about the contactless clearance. Help me out.
Less waiting, more convenience. Try Customs contactless clearance today.
Welcome back. Remember, we are here today at Family Time, your program. And listen, we are looking forward to what you have to say. Remember, all our listeners, we need you to WhatsApp and text. Remember to keep your voice notes 30 seconds or less, and you may send it to 876-997-3125. Watch us and comment live on Love 101's Facebook or YouTube page, or give us a call in studio at 876-968-8327 or 876-968-8328. Our very special guest today is Sharnette, and she is more than happy to respond to all your queries. Okay, but before we move forward, we have our very special moment, Word to Flesh with Rev Mike. Episode, there it is.
Man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. Many parents leave an inheritance, money and land for their children. But I believe this Bible instruction means more than that. Or inheriting money without understanding the principles of proper management can be disastrous. We have all heard stories of persons who have won the lotto, yet of the year. Similarly, inheriting land without understanding the importance of such an asset can be a disaster. Some of us know of children who inherit land from their parents, and instead of the inheritance something positive and something divisive and destructive. So, If a parent is to follow the Bible and learn inheritance for their children, then it would be wise to teach children principles of proper money management. The Bible is filled with good money management principles. Find them and teach them to your children. For example, the most well-known scripture about money management is, the love of money is the root of all evil. 1 Timothy 6:10. Another Bible principle that deals with debt is Proverbs 22:7. The rich will rule over the poor, and the borrower is the slave to the lender. So parent, do yourself, your children, and your family to come a favor and take the time now to teach them how to multiply the inheritance you intend in hands. I'm Reverend Mike from Fellowship Ministries and had a don't.
And there you have it. There you have it. Words to Flesh moment with Rev Mike. Now, you were able to hear some of the money management tips, and the Bible is filled with many. Remember, what are some of the tips you share with your children to ensure they have proper money management? Now, Shernette, I remember you mentioned with your sons, they have the little piggy pan that's transparent. And I love the fact that they get to watch the money grow. My piggy pan was not so fancy. I had the one that looked like the old cheese tin, full metal at the top, and that you could not wait to cut out the bottom because there was no way to get to the money. Sometimes I used to turn it upside down and shake. So maybe the transparent one or one that you can pull out is not such a good idea for me.
I found mine.
You found it? It's
I found mine.
That's exactly how it looks. The boys.
Right, I found mine.
His modern day piggy pan.
What happened to the rest of the money, Amanda?
I'm still trying. Okay, see, it's not bad. At least it's not empty. It's about a quarter.
And how long have you started?
I'm so embarrassed to say because it probably should have been much more than now. But I'm, you know what, this program or this particular program is going to motivate me to get back on track, right? So yes, definitely.
Awesome. Amanda, I hope you weren't shaking down the piggy pan like what I did as a child. You know?
Amika, I want to go back on your idea of your pan, and it depends on the personality. For some persons, the visual might be tempting to spend. So for some kids, maybe not seeing it and the anticipation of it growing and the consistent saving and there is a timeline to get to a certain level, maybe that helps. So that is not so off. But like I said, based on personality, someone may not want to see it like another child would make, but I'm teaching them to see the actual accumulation, understanding accumulation process in its basic term.
So there really is a variety of ways that we can apply to each child because every child is different.
Exactly.
And the ministry says that what? Every child can learn, every child must. Every child can save, every child must, even if the method is different. But with children, we need to make things fun for them.
Yes.
What are some of the ways, Shernette, we can make it fun? Maybe for the different age groups, what are some of the things we could do?
So we can make it fun, yes, but mandatory and fun at the same time. For example, I mentioned, picking up in your bedroom. It can be grades. If it is that the grades are a little bit off, you can say, well, let's work towards instead of a 50 or 80%, and you'll get X amount. So you determine an amount, and my son will tell you, I'm betting you $10,000 for this, that you're wrong about this. He goes in the thousands. And sometimes you're afraid to respond because you're probably going to be wrong and have to pay him that $10,000 and he's going to want his money. No, you want to make it interesting. For a child and fun, as you said, for a child who doesn't want to clean the room, you make it fun. Don't just send them, go clean your room. You know, make it fun. You know, you're going to be cleaning your room X time, X day, and you're going to be paid whether every Saturday, every Sunday. You're going to check the room to make sure that they don't just toss the things under the bed, but you're going to make sure that it's done properly and timely. So with work comes pay. And if it is that you think it was done of a certain standard, they say because of this level, you're going to earn a little extra, a little interest on what we had agreed on or what I told you. You can create ways, like for my sons, they like the idea of having a bank account. You can let them know we're going to open an account. It's going to be consistent. It's going to be at X company or Y company if they're interested in any company at whatever age group. So you make things feel important. And as a matter of fact, we're telling our kids to save. We have to have created that habit already for ourselves because children are watching us. They live what they learn. So if you're not consistently saving, because you could be learning along with your child, don't leave yourselves out of the process now. So if you haven't started, then you start with them and you're going to consistently save. And I'm honest with my children that I wasn't very focused in school with my grades. I'm asking for a certain grade. You set your standards and we will follow your standards. I didn't get this in that. Both my sons got scholarship because you set the level, you're going to set your target and you're going to beat your target. So you're competing against yourself. No, once I get that, there's an incentive.
I like it. It's something that motivates.
There's an incentive. So there's scholarship money, a portion of it is invested, not just buying items for school, but that money is really your money. So we're going to invest a portion of it. My sons ask me all the time, how much interest am I earning again? Where's my money? What's the balance? They want to know.
Yes.
They want to. So you're going to be holding them accountable. Let it be fun. Let them count the money out the piggy pan, you know. So I
like that idea of counting the money so they see it. Moving
let them feel it. Let them count it and know that I had $1,000 in there 2 weeks ago. Oh my God, now we're at 4. That whole excitement of growth. And you talk about accumulation. And we spoke about earlier about the parents borrowing money from the children. There's nothing wrong with it, you know, because sometimes I may run out because I'm home and probably don't want to go to the ATM. Maybe there's a food man at the gate and I want to get cane and jelly water. Can you lend me money? No, what you can say is if I borrow this money from you, I'm going to pay you back as how the bank would. Or as if you had invested in house at 10% on it. So when you lend me $1,000, you now have $1,100. So you earn 10% of your $1,000. So I'm paying you back with interest as if this is how it works. This is how we learn. So he's the lending institution. I am the borrower, and I have to pay back. So
it gives them an idea, gives them a good idea, a business idea.
Stocks and bonds work. Because you're lending companies money to whatever it is, purchase capital to expand. So when you do that, you're getting back some money on your principal that you've lent. So you find different ways of teaching them.
On the side of the parents, I know sometimes we tend to fall into patterns and things that are traditional, and we believe it has to be this way. When it comes to these ideas that we do as parents and the strategies we put in place, is there anything that's off the limit? Is there anything that, look, this is not a good idea, parents, stay clear of it from early? Is there anything like that?
When it comes to money management, I can't say, but for the children, for me, my boys, don't brag. You know, this bragging, right? They bring the money that they're saving to school in their wallet, the whole whack of it to show their friends. And we're into that aspect of society where we have to show what we have. And I always say to them, work in silence and let your success be the noise. You don't have to be loud about everything and to show off about everything. Let it speak for what it is. If you're giving, then that's different, but not to go and to brag. Parents, we have some habits that haven't worked for us. I'll start with that in terms of the drawbacks and the habits. If you started something, for example, invested in something or consistently doing something, for me, it was, I won't call it, but I've been involved in a couple companies where you have to carry on some people and earn some money. And some of those don't work. So habits that we have repeated or invested in or time or money that hasn't worked for us, don't introduce the idea to our children. Sometimes they have a better idea. Sometimes we need to listen, or along with them research. Because yes, you talk about the traditions, and if we're still broke, obviously a tradition didn't work.
That is true. I'm happy you mentioned that point.
If your children if they're not consistently saving, obviously your tradition is not working. So we have to change.
On that note, Sharnette, I'm going to ask our parents, think about your tradition that you're doing and your practices. Think about what are the habits that you're forming in your children. And remember to answer the question, what are you doing to ensure that your child has a healthy relationship with money? Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Who is Selassie? What is the relationship, the differences, and the similarities between Rastafarianism and Christianity? Tuesday, May 8, on The Rock, join host Bishop Hero Steve Blair and guests Joseph Miller, Joel Miller, and Reverend Clinton Chisholm as they discuss the topic Rastafari and Christianity. That's The Rock, Tuesday, May 9 at 10 a.m. right here on the family station, Love 101, celebrating 30 years of music, family, and love.
Coming up on Campus Connection, May is Child Month. However, we also take the time to celebrate the invaluable work of our educators. Do you remember that one teacher who made you smile when you went to class? What are some of the things that we can do to make our educators feel appreciated? Join us Tuesday, May 9 at 5:30 p.m. right here on Love 101 as we hear from our students, parents, and other stakeholders sharing fond memories of their favorite teacher, along with sending teachers greetings. Are teachers really important? And what can children and parents do to make this year's celebration even more meaningful for them? Anyone knows what going on campus? It's our students, parents, and education stakeholders. So you don't want to miss this episode. Campus Connection, Tuesday, May 9 at 5:30 p.m. on your family station, Love 101.
Educom does it again with the mega car loan sale. 100% financing, interest rate of 6.95%, and up to 10 years to repay. Hurry now and visit any of our 9 branches. Call Educom at 876-926-6973 or WhatsApp 876-559-7575 for more info. Educom Covenant Credit Union Limited. Value through service.
Welcome back. It is now 6:02 p.m. You are tuned to Love 101. This is Family Time, brought to you by Family Life Ministries, FLM. FLM provides counseling for people with all kinds of challenges from all walks of life. Listen out for our numbers in Kingston and Portmore at the end of this program. Remember, we're Facebook and YouTube live, so tune into the program via the Love 101's Facebook page and YouTube channel. The topic today is children, money, management, and planning with Sharnette Clark, our iconic financial advisor. So Sharnette, I should ask, do you have any other tips or secrets surrounding this topic? You know, something that probably we need to know, you know. How do you go about that?
Well, my first son is now 17 years old.
Wow.
And I am teaching him already the dangers of credit card. Not to think about that. If you can avoid that, and yes, we can manage it, but then in the first stages, maybe between 18 and 30, don't think about that, no. Don't take on a credit. Don't take on any debts. And I would encourage your parents. This is probably hard, but if we're encouraging them from 3 years up to start saving, we can talk about college.
Absolutely.
Start saving for something that you want, whether it is, as our young men want to start driving very early. You can save a portion, and I come up with a portion, and we can get your car. Put a value on money. We work for money, and when you work, you get a commission. So let's not call it what's the other word they call for it? There's another name they call for it, but I call it commission. You earn a commission.
Okay.
And you can put a value on it. So if it is that they want a game,
a house,
computer. So in the early stages, whatever it is that they want, well, how much are you coming up with? Let them start saving towards it. Let them realize that money buys what you want.
Okay, I have another question too, Shernette. Do you encourage, or would you encourage children to set goals, financial goals? Because that's probably something not popularly spoken about. We more focus on it in adulthood. But what about children setting financial goals?
That's exactly what you're saying. Let them save for something they want. Setting a goal. I need to achieve this towards education, towards, you said, buying a house, buying a car. So, and I was going to get to the point of if we can avoid student loans as parents, so you encourage them to start saving towards education. What is it that you would want to achieve? So not candy money we're talking about now, but we're talking about big ticket items where we're speaking of generational wealth, where we just heard the scripture. We are going to be leaving an inheritance for our children. Children say, it's me passing on the inheritance to you, but what are you going to be doing for your generation? We're going to be having the same effect. And if we continue on the path that we have started, our parents, we weren't taught financial literacy in our schools at our home. We are learning when we have already had the loan, when we're trying to pay off the loan and a credit card, when it is that we are not practicing proper budgeting. So we have the money, but we're not keeping much of it. We're not saving much of it. I don't save in the bank. I have a separate account. It comes out of my salary before I start spending, because if it's left alone, as even a financial advisor, I may find something else that I need to do without saving some portion of my salary. And for the boys,
you're very deliberate, making deliberate efforts.
Exactly. And for the boys, I had just a discussion last night. No, I have attached their savings to my salary. So whatever money you're earning, consistently, I have to get $5,000 from you each. So however you're going to earn it. So you're not going to be spending. Those profits are going to be going into the bank each. You have your bank account separating them, but no, we have an investment where that one is $5,000 per month. So yes, that's another one. And you show them multiple ways of diversifying the money. This one offers this one per year. This one is long term. This one is short term. This one is for education. This one is for the car. This one is for anything miscellaneous, something that you'd want. So you can have them having different accounts or different amount going to different accounts to accomplish those dreams and those goals that we didn't plan for.
Right. Because when I was asking about you want to go ahead?
Go ahead, Mando.
No, when I was asking about the financial goals, though, I was like, probably I should have been more specific in saying, what's your view on having them literally writing it down and setting timelines to it?
That's important.
That makes it more practical and achievable. So
if they are, I don't like to write, but sometimes I have to write. But if it is that you think that is going to work for them, like I said, for my sons, they watch the accumulation process in their transparent piggy bank. No, if it is that they know that they need to reach a certain level, that's why I asked you, when did you start with your piggy bank? So there's a timeline, Lady Amanda. By the end of the year, it should be full. By 6 months, we should be refilling. So there is a period. And what is it that you're trying to achieve? If it is that writing down, having your vision board, for some persons that doesn't work because they don't like to write. The whole idea of writing frustrates them because they do a lot of that at school. But you can find ideas. Like I said, the visual works for kids. If you can find ways, and they're all different, because your child might like to write, have a journal and put on everything that I want to achieve. My kids may be different. The visual aspect works. So you have to know what works for your child, because some children don't like to do chores.
It has to be different.
You are going to get $1,000 and you don't want to do that. You're going to get $5,000. And if I get X grade, you're going to get this. So you have to find ways to motivate them, because they may not like school, but getting paid to get good grades is an awesome idea. And then all my sons, even though they're high achievers, they don't like school, but if they're going to get something for the grades, my son just got gifted for And I didn't remember that I promised him that item that the grades needed to raise. And him remind me weekend gone, I'm for fork out and
As he should. As he should. You should be reminded.
They don't forget. So once you
They
set
don't.
the goal, once you set it out, and you have to be accountable. You can't promise them and don't give them no. You can't promise them and don't give them commission. You have to be consistent, and they will be consistent in their habits and developing the financial aspect and achieving the goals and the dreams. Retirement is also an important aspect. My son, as soon as he reaches 18, he'll be contributing to the NIS, working or not, because that's when you start. So you start them at different stages. And at that stage, no credit card, you'll be contributing to NIS. As you get the job and can contribute to NHT, that's where you're going to start. As soon as you can't say first job for NIS, because what if you start working at 30?
That's a good idea. But you mentioned something earlier, Shernette. When you spoke about your son and, different things he wants to save for, spend for when he bought the bracelet. And so I want to know, as much as how we encourage saving and money management, how do we as parents who are kind of the guardians of their little money management strike a balance between what is saved, what is spent, and what is gifted? How do you communicate it to them so that there's a balance?
Well, we come back to scripture. We strike the balance, the foundation, 10%. You pay yourself first, and 10%, whether it's tithing, 10%, whether it's charity, you can decide. And I have a 50-30 rule where, of course, 50% now is going to be your recurring expenses, everything that you have to deal with. And the children wouldn't have that. But you can start out the pattern there where you can say, I'm going to segment this money. So if it's $10,000, Lady Amanda, that is going to be in that piggy bank at the end of the month. We are going to be assigning and that's why I spoke about diversifying. We're going to be segmenting that money where it is going to go. So you're going to give your tithe your $1,000. We're going to put 5,000 in your consistent saving, or one that is going to grow with a 4%, with a 10% per annum. So you're going to decide. And in giving, my children, we don't give money, but we probably give items of food, clothing, and we'll say this, we're going to purchase an extra can of something. What is it that you would want to give? Because we give to the homes. What is it that we're going to be deciding we're going to be giving for Christmas? And you make them purchase a gift, each of them for their age group, not just their friends, but we're going to be giving.
Right.
So you plan those. We're going to be giving at the end of the year. We also volunteer our hours in terms of community service. So there are many ways to encourage your children to give. We go to the Hope Zoo and we give some hours there. So you decide, because it's not just about giving money, but your time is also tithing. So you want to create a balance, just playing games. It's not just about going to school, but we have some children who are unfortunate. We go to the Maxfield home, we play basketball with them, and we join with our schools and we give up our time. We do clean up on the beach. So you are going to decide whether it's going to be time, whether it's going to be money. But a part of your development is managing the money, managing your time, managing your students, and creating well-balanced young men and young ladies in our society. Because guess what? If the money is depleted in the home, it affects the society and it affects the whole world and it affects the community. Because if we don't have anything, we don't have consumer spending. We don't have
everyone is affected. Everyone will be affected eventually.
So if every home, if every parent is consistent in saving and teaching their children to save, and you yourself learning in the process and starting it, our financial goals can really be achieved and we can see a difference. Teach them how to spend also. Don't spend frivolously because you see something. Teach them also that this may cost $50 here, but I can get it for $25 there. So you teach them in terms
or it's not a need, so you don't need it at all.
Or you can get it at a discount. Is it going to be higher purchase? When I purchase it cash, I have those discussions with them. When I was purchasing the machine, if I bought it at X place, I would have gotten it for this. I went here and I got it for that. I had that. So I saved $15,000. That money that would have been spent all on one item, I saved because I went and shopped around. So you can have different tips in terms of money management, earning it, how much of it you're keeping and saving towards achieving those goals, house, car, deposit, everything that you want to achieve. And it's important to teach them that you work
for
money, work
Indeed.
smart to get money.
Thank you very much.
That's a very good note to pass on. Listen, we are heading into our final break. Remember, this is family time, and we are live on Love 101 FM, YouTube, and Facebook. It is produced by the Family Life Ministries. For our social media interaction, we want to know, what do you do to ensure your child has a healthy relationship with money? Let us know via WhatsApp, text, and your voice notes. Remember, please keep them 30 seconds or less and send it to 876-997-3125 on the Love 101 Facebook page, on Love 101's YouTube channel, or even give us a call in studios at 876-968-8327 to participate. The Love 101 YouTube is live, and so we really want to hear from you, our listeners. Don't go away. This evening we are talking about children, money management, and planning with Sharnette Clark. Don't go away. Soon come.
Here's why you can't afford to miss the Morning Watch.
I love listening to the Morning Watch because topics are discussed and issues are highlighted that are of major importance, which in turn edify me.
The Morning Watch, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
I like listening to the Morning Watch. I find it very informative. I find it very interesting. The topics that are covered are very, very wide.
The Morning Watch, thought-provoking, insightful, current. Listen for the probing questions with attorney at law Stokely Marshall and the in-depth discussion with Reverend Dr. Dallin Toussaint. On Tuesdays, the Morning Watch is brought to you by Holtz Hardware, the leader in electrical building and everything for the home, and the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, achieving prosperity through partnership and development. The Morning Watch, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. The Morning Watch is on the family station Love 101.
Welcome back. Welcome back. It is now 6:17 p.m. and you are tuned to Love 101. This is Family Time brought to you by Family Life Ministries FLM. FLM provides counseling for people with all kinds of challenges from all walks of life. Listen out for our numbers in Kingston and Portmore at the end of this program. Remember, we're Facebook and YouTube live. So tune into the program via the Love 101's Facebook page and YouTube channel. The topic today is children, money management, and planning with Sharnette Clark, or iconic financial advisor. Sharnette?
Yes, Sharnette. On the note that you ended, when you spoke about, the kids and the striking of balance, and they have to know they can't spend it all just because it's their saving. And I remember, Amanda, when you asked about tips and secrets, I said I had to share this one. I read an article some time ago, and it was on getting our kids to save. Now, from time to time, Sharnette, you mentioned chores, and different kids react differently to incentives. Some don't like the idea of chore, even if it is they're earning from it. And so I read where a parent says, look, the chores has to be done. It's not something extra they're going to take on. And so if there are multiple children in the home and one child fails to do it, they take money from the savings of one child and pay the other child to do the chores. So in this case, they took money from the older child and paid the younger one. Listen, not only was she upset that she lost money to her little brother, she was absolutely horrified that he was in her room touching her things, and sibling, she thinks her little brother is just gross. And in that moment, the lesson was learned, not only because she failed to do her chores, she lost money. It went to a third party in the form of her brother, who she did not like occupying her space. And guess what? After that lesson, mommy didn't have another challenge with her doing her chores. So we have to really, as you know, they're kids. Their emotions are all over. They're in a different space and generation from us, and they won't relate to all the lessons we teach them. Even the ones when we say, look, I wish I was you, and at this age I wasn't doing X or Y, or I wish I had known, I wish I was taught.
Yeah.
So guess what? We have to get creative with them. We really do.
Right. So I like the idea of the emotions. You should attach monies to emotions. So that's another tip. So you make sure that if it is that they're not doing what they're supposed to do, then there's no commission. That's how we use it instead of the word allowance. Allowance kind of give the idea of entitlement. So you let them know it's a commission. So when this is done, this is what you achieve. Exactly. So you attach some emotion to the money. So if it is that they're saving also, you let them go back to the transparent pan again. If you don't have the pan, you can use jars and you can attach labels. This one is for education. This one is for so-and-so. This one for so-and-so. Let them see the growth. And you can say, once you spend, you notice the money is shrinking. Amanda, I wonder if it shrunk. So you let them know that when you're taking out of it, it's actually going down. So they see the visual aspect of how money really works. You put in and you keep putting in, it's going to increase. You're pulling out, it's going to decrease. And is it that what you want? Is it that you have reached? You can assign timeline, as I said. Have you reached the goal and the timeline that you have set for that goal?
Okay, thanks, Shernette. I have a very important question though. Right? Oh, before I even ask that question, remember, Shernette, I need you to hold me accountable and I'm serious. To finish up this piggy bank, Tamika, please. You said, did you say December? Because you gave it till the end of the year, right? Can I get that? Cut me some.
But what's the amount you're trying to achieve? Because if it is they're trying, we have to be realistic. If you're trying to achieve 10, we can't just put $1. So we're going to have to put only $20 to achieve. So again, that is how you teach them. Are we going to be just putting $20 in this? Or is that $10? How much is it that we're going to achieve? And how much of that money it's going to take to fill that and to achieve the goal at the end of December? At the end of December, what are you going to do with that money? What is the goal? You ask a question, So why do you want it to be filled up at December? To buy gifts for friends, for yourself? Or is it that you're thinking there's going to be an opportunity for an investment?
Amanda, I can help with that.
Help me, Tamika, because I
help with telling you how to spend it on gifts for your fellow co-host. I think that would be a good one.
And I think I was adopted by love. I'm the resident.
Wow, everyone is running in now. Oh my. But let me just quickly move to my question.
A good thing you could do, Amanda. I've seen my husband decide at some point. So I had my little piggy pan like you and Amanda with silver and coins, jinglings. But he decided to stop spending 50 and hundreds. So you could think of an initiative like that too. Once you get a $50 or $100, you're not going to spend it. You no longer spend change. So once those come across, you reserve those for your piggy pan. And
let me try.
Have good budget for Christmas gifts.
Let me try, Tamika. I know you're running in on the Christmas gift idea. I'm not surprised. Okay. But I think I want to just quickly mention this, or probably just ask Shernette for just some quick feedback. I know we're under the topic children, money management, and planning. And without straying too much, a thought came to me, which is how do we actually, what would you say are some practical tips to create balance in cases where children may feel that everything they do should have a financial gain? How would you handle that? Or how would you handle helping children to understand that you can genuinely give without something, in return? You can genuinely do your chores without expecting that there's something in return. You can genuinely be service oriented without expecting something in return, for example, volunteering, etc. So what are some practical tips?
We spoke about that because I said we have to create the balance in terms of
how? Like how? Specific ways.
Well, for my sons, we do community services. And I said that we volunteer. Remember, it's not your giving is not just about money, it's about also giving your time. And there are some things that are just basic that as an individual, as a young woman, as a young man, as a child, that you have to develop to become well-rounded. You're going to be thinking of purchasing your home. Do you want to have a dirty home? You're going to have to learn to clean without being paid, because this is your space. No, is it? I don't normally give my children commission for their bedrooms because that's their space. You are responsible for your space without being paid.
Right.
Now, if it is anything extra outside of their chores, then, for example, if they're in the stage of where they're learning to drive, normally I wouldn't give them a commission to wash the car, but if they did, they do. But no, you want to drive it, then it has to be washed. Do you now earn from something that you have to use? Because I have to pay someone to wash it. So you have to have the discussion, and it is your habits also. Are you paid for everything that you do? No. So you're bringing up, you have those discussions. You don't just pay and give money for everything, because we'll be giving everybody every money, every idea or everything that is shared with you, or every gesture that is given to you. So you're gonna have well-rounded, and our children are smart, they're very
Right.
So if you allow them, they'll tell you how much you're going to pay me for that. And you let them know, no, this is now a service. No, this is volunteerism. No, you're just going to give up your time. There's no earning here, but this is going to teach you X. This is going to teach you Y.
Okay, so coming up from what you're saying then, to if we really narrow it down to some specifics, in addition to what you have said, it's therefore important for parents to have solid conversations with their children, solid and honest, and also to support charity and have that demonstrated, whether through communication and through actions. So that's another thing. And of course, we cannot leave out the biblical principles. The word of God being a foundation with how you deliver this information, and using this as the plumb line, the benchmark for how we live. So thanks very much for that. Tamika, I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to add or
I was listening to Shernit, and then I thought my sisters and I had this conversation a few weeks ago because of a situation with my nephew. Now, my nephew Tyler is 20, and he's in college in his second or third year. And my sister decided, look, he's really not saving. My nephew, when you look at, he's just spending. So it's games or his sneakers. And so my sister decided to hold him accountable for his money and decided, okay, you are taking the situation for granted, and so you will get additional responsibilities that you will have to manage in your own life when you're out there on your own. And so even though he's living there, it's now like, okay, you would have had to pay rent. This is now the cost for food. This is how much a gallon of milk cost. And we're slowly seeing the transformation, because now he second things about he guesses, takes a second thought before buying a meal randomly, something that maybe he doesn't even consume in full. Take 2 bites and throw away. When you have a refrigerator full of food and you've had a meal at home.
Awesome.
So it's very important to have those conversations. And for us, my husband and myself, with the girls, we try to have those honest. You see, Amanda, those conversations you talk about, they may not always be pretty, but if we're honest, it really, really has value. And so we tell them about the bills. I let my girls understand recently about GCT tax. GCT, it's not just $200. So, oh, mommy, but it's just, I said, it's never just that. There's an additional cost now, add up everything. This is how much you would have gone over on your Pixie gift. So much more. But we're at the end. So, Shernate, if we had 1 minute more to say to all our parents who are listening and all adults, look, from big and small, what 1 minute word of advice you would say?
1 minute.
Yes.
So culminate everybody now. Discuss wants versus needs. Let them earn their own money, set saving goals, provide a place to save, have them track their spending, offer savings incentives, leave room for mistakes, parents, and act as their creditor. Again, if you guys want to, link me after the show, it's Icon Sherns on Instagram. And the number is 876-877-6130. It was a pleasure being here.
All right, Iconic Shernet. Thank you so much for being here with us. If you have questions of a personal nature or are concerned about a family or a friend, give us a call at Family Life Ministries for our center in Portmore at 117 Cecile Avenue. Please call 876-939-7917. For more information about our services and our counselors in Kingston and other parts of the island, please contact our head office at 876-920-1034 or 876-926-8101. Please know that appointments can only be made by calling the offices. Otherwise, to keep up to date with what's happening with Family Life Ministry and all our programs, find us on Facebook at FLM Family Life Ministries, and be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Family Life Ministries FLM JA. Before we leave you, here is this evening's Bible verse. The Bible verse comes to us from Colossians 3, verse 20. Children, please the Lord and obey your parents in everything you do. Children, please the Lord and obey your parents in everything you do.
Join us again next week at 5:30 p.m. on Love 101 FM, Facebook and YouTube Live via the Love 101 Facebook page and Love 101 YouTube channel for another informative program. Thanks again to our special guest, Shernet Clark. Thanks also to our show producer, Kathy Gale, Open Door Communications, studio facilitator Timoy Butler, and of course you, our listeners, and those streaming online. I'm Amanda saying good evening on behalf of Tamika and myself. Stay well, stay safe, stay blessed.